I've been in the construction industry for, I think, a little more than 10 years now, and I have just recently reduced my business from being a contractor working as advertising myself as a handyman so that I could do various home repairs. I have reduced my business to just working and contracting for Tuff Shed. You probably have seen the sheds sitting outside of Home Depot. Well, those are Tuff Sheds through the builder called Tuff Shed. And I've recently become an installer installing the sheds, and in this video I want to give you a little snapshot of how much money you can actually make doing installs. And I also want to talk about some of the tools, some of the things that are required for you to get started, and some of the expenses that go along with installing sheds. So let's get started. So some of the things that you're going to need to know to get started is that Tuff Shed is a builder and you are a contractor. And what you're going to need is, one, an LLC. You're going to have a business entity. You can't just be a sole proprietor. You also have to have your own vehicle with a trailer that is going to be able to transport the sheds. And you're going to have your own tools, your own supplies. In Tuff Shed, they will give you a list of the supplies that, the tools that you're going to be needing. And so that's one thing. Also insurance, you have to have insurance. And they'll explain that as you go through the process. So you are an independent contractor working for Tuff Shed as an installer, installing sheds. So let's look at the month of November for my expenses. And what you'll see in this fixed expenses here, and you'll see a list of things such as materials, owner draw, cell phone, there's other things that are here such as gas expense, truck tax, truck maintenance, epidemic sound, which this is for my videos and stuff that I make on YouTube. And so in this column here you have a planned, you have actual, and then you have a difference. So in my planned column, this says that I planned to do a total of $78.70 dollars. And so what I've actually spent in the month of November is $82.41. So in my owner draw, I paid myself $5,400. And what that means is I wrote a check, submitted it to myself, to my personal account, and then I withdrew, 21% for tax, whatever the percentage is for self-employment taxes. And so that's what I paid myself. And so some of the big expenses that I just want to touch on is my business insurance. I pay basically $200. I got $194 here. There's a little bit of truck maintenance I did, but that's not usual. There's a lot of expenses here that I did not pay, so that saves up. That's basically a lot of these are yearly expenses. Another big expense is going to be my truck payment, which I did not pay. I recently bought that truck, and so I didn't make a payment here. But my gas expense, that's another one that's really big, which I spent $1,076 in gas. So let's look at how much income I've actually made. I'm gonna slide over here, and I'm gonna explain this real quick. This is the income. Let's see, I got YouTube income, contracted work, and labor sales. Contracted work is going to be work that I've made through other people that are contractors, and also Tuff Shed. So I plan to make $8,000 a month, which is because I, plan over here, my expenses are $8,000, but I actually made $8,200 and I actually spent $8,200. So this month wasn't the best month. But let's back out and let's look at the month of December. I'll go ahead and explain again the fixed expenses, what I spent. So I paid myself as an owner, I took a draw of $6,700. I have a cell phone bill. I have tools expenses, which I bought various tools. I don't always buy tools, but kind of update my stuff. Truck maintenance, again. Let's see, insurance. Let's go down to my truck payment, $825 for my truck payment. Gas expense was a little less. It was $926 for gas expense. And this month, my business spent $9,389. Of course, I paid myself $6,700, and I had to pay tax out of that $6,700. How much income have I made? Here we go, right here. $14,310 for the month of December. Now, granted, December had not just 4 weeks, but 5. It had 5 weeks. So I had 5 weeks of pay in December. Not too bad. Let's look at that average. 14,100 divided by 5 weeks. So it averaged out to $2,800 a week, which is pretty decent. Let's look at the month of January, the month that we're in right now. So this month, my total expenses was $7,400. I spent $927 in gas, which is the most. This is what most goes to. I've only paid myself $4,900 this month. So these are the biggest expenses for my business. Income. This month I made $10,008 in the month of January. So basically $10,000. So divided by 4 weeks. So I basically made, on average, $2,500 a week building sheds. So can you make decent money with installing sheds for Tuff Shed? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Now, the purchase orders, there's all sorts of different types of sheds. There's 8x8, 8x10, 10x10, 10x12, and they go up to 12x16, and they range in height also. And every one of them have different things on them, such as a add-on, like a window is an add-on, shelving, if the customer wants a double door, and all these little things. On the purchase orders, they tell you that it's like $15 to install a shelf, $20 to paint the building. It's like, I don't know, like, I don't have the numbers right now, but it's like all these little bitty small numbers for these little extra add-on things. And if I was doing this for just any random customer, I would never charge $25 to paint a shed. Now, granted, the shed has a base price, and those prices range anywhere from $280, and the bigger sheds are like $1,000. I think the most I've gotten for a shed, I think, was like a little less than $800. And typically you get a shed, the lowest amount I've gotten is $280. And typically what you'll get is anywhere from $300 to $400. And my goal is $500 a day. And of course, you get a $300 shed one day, and you get a $500 shed the next day, a $400 shed, and then you get a $600-something shed. And so it averages out, as you can see, for the month of December, it was $2,800. Month of January, it averaged out $2,500. And so, yeah, that's about how much money I make as an installer. Now granted, I work on my own. I'm doing this solo. I'm doing them by myself. And so you can hire someone as a helper and pay them however much you think it fits for your business to pay them. And so with the helper, of course, you're not going to go and want to do one 8x8 shed. An 8x8 shed for me takes about 3 hours on site. I wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. I go to the Tuff Shed, get there at 6:30. I'm usually packing up a shed. I'm out by 7 o'clock, traveling anywhere from an hour, hour and a half. Usually it's about that long. And I get there at the customer's house anywhere from 7:30 in the morning, which I really like, to 9 a.m. in the morning. If I have to travel a really long distance, of course I'm gonna be there a little later. If I show up on site, I get there, let's say at 9 a.m. doing an 8x8. I'm done at 12 o'clock. I pack up, go home, drive another hour, hour and a half home. I'm home before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So if I get home at 3, I think that's a 9-hour day. And of course, if you're gonna build a bigger shed, it's gonna take a little longer. And so that's kind of how it rolls. But if you got a helper, you're probably gonna wanna do bigger sheds. And so, I really hope this was helpful. I know this is helpful. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, watch some other content, and I will see you guys later.